A hive like this can pollinate 50 million flowers a day, which is absolutely extraordinary, and it's why humans have dragged the honeybee all around the world wherever they go, because they are such extraordinary pollinators. Now our agriculture and the honeybees are intertwined, and without the honeybees we can't produce enough food to support the human population as we know it. But it's not only the honeybees, it's all the other species of pollinators that are really important as well. And without pollination, the world as we know it falls apart. Hi, I'm Cedar Anderson.
My name's Stu, and I'm Cedar's father.
And together we invented the flow hive.
Insects are so important in our world because maybe up to half the foods that you eat is from plants that have to be pollinated. And of those, half are getting pollinated by bees of different sorts. And honeybees are an important pollinator. So we need the insect pollinators, the bees, the wasps, the moths, some birds that pollinate, or our whole ecosystem would collapse. Not only would we not have our food, we wouldn't have the forests and we wouldn't have the meadows.
Humans have changed almost every surface of our earth. And pollinators are under threat from two main things. One is our agriculture, taking away vast amounts of habitat, and the other is insecticides. In order to support our pollinators, we need to put away the sprays and get out the habitat. And what I mean by that is leaving wild spaces, leaving habitat for our species to exist. And that means leaf mulch, that means mud for some of our native bees to nest in. That means creating pollinator houses like this one. And we need to stop using insect-killing insecticide. 1 billion litres a year of insecticide is sprayed onto our Earth's surface. We need innovation. We need to work out a new way to produce our food that doesn't involve insecticide.
We've been using insecticides to control the pest insects in our orchards and in our acreages of wheat and so on. Those insecticides are filtered through the whole food chain and are really affecting bees and birds' ability to thrive. So it might not kill them directly, but it can really weaken them. So for example, there's an insecticide called neonicotinoid, which has a lot of different bad effects on bees, but one of which is it knocks out their ability to navigate very well. So they might be able to find their way to the flowers, but they can't find their way back up to the beehive. And so that beehive, if it's too affected by that chemical, will die. Diversity of plants and animals is so important. When you have a complicated, interconnected ecosystem, it's way, way stronger than just a simple 2 or 3 plant ecosystem. And so, for example, with the almond orchards in Australia, huge orchards that produce almonds for us, the growers now have learnt to just leave the weeds and to plant various flowering plants in amongst the trees rather than just leaving it bare. And now there's more forage for the bees, it keeps the bees and the other insects healthier, and that's good for the almonds. Another reason that insects are declining is that we're spreading various diseases and pathogens around the world with all of our air travel and sea freight and so on. And so that animals and insects that never had to deal with particular fungus or a particular pathogen now have to deal with it because we're spreading them everywhere.
So the flow hive is great because it's encouraging people to keep bees, and bees are a window into the world that we completely depend on. But of course there's more than a honeybee to look after. There's also the other 20,000 species of native bees in our world, and they need all sorts of different habitat. So what we decided to do was use the flow hive offcuts to create this little pollinator house. And 100% of the profits raised from that go to habitat regeneration and protection. Some of these species of native bee only have a very small range of only 200 metres. So creating habitat in your backyard creates stepping stones for these species across the urban landscape, connecting corridors together. If we create habitat, we can save some of these species from the brink of extinction.